in the valley, but Jesus said, I'm your bridge over your troubled water. Whenever you need help in your marriage, Jesus said, just look to the hills and begin to call my name. But Jesus said, if you need hope for tomorrow, because I am Alpha and I am Omega. I'm the first and the last. I'm your food on your table. I'm your clothes on your back. But Jesus said, whatsoever you need in your marriage, just call my name and I'll come see about you. Every now and then when you need help in the church, Jesus said, just come together and call my name. I'll come in and see about you. When you need help on your job, Jesus said, just look to the hills and call my name and I'll come in and sup with you. But Jesus said, when you need help in your marriage, he said, that's why I'm here. I'm talking about the recipe for a perfect marriage. A marriage is not a marriage unless you got Jesus in the midst of it. And that's all Jesus is telling us today. When you need help in your marriage, you can't do it by yourself. He said, keep the world out of your business. Come together as husband and wife. Sit down at the table. Every now and then, husband, you need to grab your wife. And when you grab your wife, every now and then you need to remember you got somebody you can take your problems to. You need to grab one another, even if it needs to be the wife grabbing the husband by his hand. You need to grab one another. Come and go down on bending knees. And when you go down on bending knees, y'all need to begin to hug one another. And that the Spirit of God is in both of you. Then I'll lead you to walk to one side and walk to the other side, because you know where all of your help come from, and you need to go down and begin to look to the hills and begin to call on the name of Jesus and tell the Lord to come in and fix that problem. Tell the Lord to come in and see about the household. And when you tell God to come in, he'll come in and make everything all right. And when he make everything all right, you'll be able to jump and tell God, Lord, I thank you. I'm talking about the recipe for a perfect marriage. And if you want your marriage to be perfect, you got to include Jesus. Because Jesus said, I'm coming back for his church without spots or wrinkles. And he said, that's why they marched me over a path called Golgotha to a place called Calvary. And when they got me on Calvary, he said, I had my people in my mind. But he said, as they got me on Calvary, they had an old rugged cross waiting for me. And as they stretched me wide on my cross, nailed my hand and riveted my feet, for the hymn writer said, was Jesus bear his cross alone, and all of the world go free, knowing there's a cross for everyone, and there's a cross for me. But he said, if I be lifted up from this old world, I'll draw all men unto me. And when they lifted him up, he died so when one go astray, we can call his name. He said 99 and a half won't do. I got to get all of my children. The scripture said he got up. He stayed there all night Friday. He stayed there all day Saturday. And I believe he stayed there all night Saturday, wondering who's going to call his name in the time of help. Wondering who's going to believe he's going to do what he said he's going to do. But the scripture said the moon refused to shine. The sun refused to come up. The stars refused to shine. Thank you. I thank you, Jesus. Because the Bible said early that birthday Sunday morning, he got up, declared all power. He said, all power is in my hands. Whatsoever you want or need is in my hands. But he said in order to get what I want, or in order to get what you want, and in order to get what I got for you, he said you got to do one thing. He said you got to make me your chosen one. You got to choose me to be your Lord and Savior. But he said, choose ye this day in whom you will serve. But if you make me your chosen one this day, I'll do what I said I would do. I'll make your enemies your footstool. I made them leave you alone. I made them turn around and begin to love you. I bring your husband back home. I bring your wife out of the streets. He said, if you just make me your chosen one, I even bring your children back into your guideline. But I can't do none of this until you choose me this day. So as we open the doors of the church, come on, musician. Whosoever will, let him come. And the symbolism of this scripture, when Jesus said whoso, it's talking about anybody, man, woman, boy, and girl. When a man findeth a wife, when mankind find Jesus, then he will become what Jesus wants him to be. So he said, whoso find him, that will be favor from the Lord. If you want to come by letter, by baptism, or by Christian experience, looking for a church home, then I should come. And then there was one more of the four. He said, if you want to just come and sit in the mercy seat and say, Lord, have mercy on me, come at this time.